So ladies and gentlemen, why is the world not going to be the same when it comes to food production, all right, the transportation of food, the availability of food, and what will be very important to us, the price of food? Because I believe food will always be available, just not in the quantity that we are accustomed to, and just not at the prices that we are accustomed to. Now, when you take a look at how much you have to pay for food, try doing it this way. Instead of looking at the nominal price, just the nominal price of that item, take a look and see how much labor, how much of your labor does it cost to buy that piece of steak. So if you're buying a pound of steak for $9.99 a pound, let's call it $10 a pound, how many hours or increments of an hour did you have to work? If you make $20 an hour, it means that it's costing you half an hour's worth of labor to go out there and purchase 1 pound of that specific steak. So try to look at food, when you buy food, try to look at it that way. How much of my wealth, how much of my labor that I have to give up this week to buy a week's worth of groceries? If you look at it that way, then you'll really see the increase in the price of food. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's when I tell you guys, it's not really about the actual nominal value of money. It's how much labor is being taken from you. How much labor does it cost you to go and purchase that today, vice how much it cost you to go and purchase it a year ago or 2 years ago? How much labor? Because with the prices of food going up, there are some industries that are paying people more. So people tend to make more as inflation creeps in, but then the price of everything else, in my opinion, not only rises to meet what people are making more, but to exceed what people are making, with the increase in their salaries, in contrast to the increase of the prices that they're paying at the grocery store. So I don't have to pinpoint any articles to you. I'm actually doing this on the fly, obviously. But just look around and see how many new companies have started up where they make foods, especially meats, that are not made out of meat, that are made of something else. These are the same companies backed by the same people that for years have been touting, you know, green this and green that. And there's nothing wrong with being environmentally friendly to our planet that sustains our life, right? But in my opinion, a lot of these characters are trying to play a game where they have control of our food and will eventually tell us what kinds of foods we can eat merely by the availability of the foods that there is on the shelf. So if whatever string puller is playing this game decides that we're going to do everything that we can in this country and throughout the world to decimate the meat population, all right, to decimate the ways in which we can get proteins like we've been used to probably for our whole lives, if not more, by eating proteins from animals like meat and eggs and cheese and milk and things like that. The people that are heads of these organizations are more than likely invested in organizations that can provide us with those alternatives. All right, so for example, to put it clearly and simply, we have a person who just happened to invest hundreds of millions of dollars on a company that produces meatless burgers, right? Let's just say burgers. And then at the same time, this person has been an advocate for years of trying to get away from eating real meat. So down the line, ladies and gentlemen, you can see less meat in the stores. I won't get into the, well, they're having to cull their pig herd. They're having to cull a lot of their cows because they can't get them to market. I won't even get into that, you know, even though that is happening. But this is not a short-term plan. This is a long-term plan where these people envision the world eating no meat whatsoever, without taking into account the secondary and tertiary effects that not having livestock grazing on fields, what would that do? You know, not having chickens grazing on fields, and oh no, I almost hit a bird. I hope it's all right. You know, not having chickens mass produced the way they are now. So what do we do about that, ladies and gentlemen? I've always said that we can only do what we can control. What can you control in your lives to be able to combat a future with less meat if you are a meat eater? If you're a vegetarian and plan on being a vegetarian for the rest of your life, it may not affect you as far as the availability, but it will affect you as far as how much you're going to be paying for those vegetables in the future. Because if more vegetables are being consumed to make meatless entrees or meatless products, then the price of those vegetables are going to go up as well. So that's one thing you can do, ladies and gentlemen, to combat this, is raise your own meat. You know, my channel's name is called Alaska Prepper, and that's because that's exactly what I am. I'm just a prepper right now. But I am hoping to transition very soon, hopefully. I think this is the last year where I have to do actual work for my house, and then I can actually start, you know, building an infrastructure so that I can have animals. I'm not the type that is just gonna go get animals because I think I need them. Well, I do know that I need them, and then just put them anywhere. I wanna make sure that when I raise these animals, that they're gonna have a good life. They are gonna meet a need, which is protein for myself and my family, but I wanna make sure that those animals, first and foremost, have a very good life until I have to put them in the pot. So I'm not just gonna go out there and get some and put them in a cage. I wanna make sure that they're comfortable and that they have everything they need before I start raising them. But that is a great way to combat the coming shortage in protein. And I've read dozens of awesome comments from our community in the past on how you can do this. You can raise rabbits. It's a very quick and reliable way of raising protein. Of course, we can raise chickens for eggs and or for meat. You know, getting a little more into it is maybe raising 2 or 3 pigs every other year. I figure for myself and my family, 2 or 3 pigs would last us a couple of years. So why not just raise 2 or 3 every other year and then take a break in between? You know, you can have goats, sheep, whatever it is that you like to consume as far as protein. Start thinking about how you can get around the system so that you can be able to produce that for yourselves. Because I was really shocked when I saw the price of ground beef at Costco for my last payday prep. I was shocked that it was $3.99 a pound. I was like, wow, that's amazing. And there was only 3 packs there left, and you're able to get 3 packs of meat there. I grabbed 2 because there was just 3 left. But yeah, it's amazing, $3.99 a pound. And it's amazing that I'm saying, wow, that's such a great price, $3.99 a pound, when I remember when Mrs. Alaska Prepper and I first got married, that you can get Hamburger on sale for 69 cents a pound. And here I am bragging about $3.99 a pound. And that's going to be our future, ladies and gentlemen. $3.99 a pound is a gift today compared to what it's going to be 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. Even little Miss Alaska Prepper asked me yesterday, she said, Dad, how much do you think this pound of ground beef will cost in 5 years? And I was like, well, I would say easily 5 times more than what it costs now. Easily in 5 years or less, a pound of ground beef will be $20. Unless they reset our economy or our financial system and give a new valuation to the actual dollar. But as far as labor goes, in labor terms, it'll be about $20 a pound. That's what I'm guessing for a pound of ground beef. So that's one of the things you can do to combat, ladies and gentlemen, the coming inflation in the price of meats. And what can we do now to combat the coming inflation in the price of grains and the price of everything else that we consume, right? Whether it be something that we eat or something else. But right now we're concentrating on food. Of course, learn how to garden. I'm actually learning a few things about gardening just with my little arrow gardens right now. I never knew how to prune a tomato plant. I didn't even know that you had to prune a tomato plant. So when I got those, I read the instructions and I was like, oh, okay, so you actually have to cut some of these things off. You know, your beginning gardener would probably think that that's hurting the plants, but in actuality it's helping it to grow more produce for you. So I'm actually learning, so I'm very excited to continue to learn how to effectively and efficiently garden. And for me, that was a very good start, getting those little arrow gardens. So anyone out there who's not gardening, or at least starting to learn, you would be doing yourself a very big service, a very good service, by learning how to do so. So you should do that. Other ways that we can combat the coming rise in food prices is buy it now, buy it on sale, buy it in bulk. I put out that message a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, on the Oxen Farms wheat berries that were on sale for like $18. And a lot of people took advantage of that, I know, because within a day or so, the price had already doubled from $18 to $36 or $37. All right, so buy the food that you can buy and store for long term now, that you still can, that it's still somewhat affordable, especially if you find it on sale. Get it now. It's not gonna hurt if you spend a few dollars today to get something that you can store away for 20 years and then be able to eat it in 5 years when it's 5-6 times the price that it was today. Great example. When I started buying the Red Feather brand butter in a can, I think each can was like $5, $4.99, something like that. But even at that time, which was years ago, 6-7 years ago is how long ago I started buying those. Even at that time, I was like, oh my goodness, $5 for 12 ounces of butter in a can? But I tried it anyways. I think the first order I ever placed was like 2 cans. And when I tried, I was like, my goodness, this is delicious. So I decided to stock up on it. And as you all know, if you want to go buy a can of Red Feather brand butter in a can, if you want to go buy one today, you're going to be paying $8-9. I think for a pack of 24, you're looking at about $269. Goodness gracious. So it's more. It's more than $10 per can if you buy it in bulk. So if you buy a 24 pack right now, you're going to end up paying more than $10 a can, and that's buying it in bulk. If you buy like 1 can or 2 cans, you're going to pay more than $10, probably $11-12. So look at that. Just in the short span of 7 years, the nominal price for that can of Red Feather butter is more than twice as much as what it used to be. So a great way to prepare for the coming food price increases is, if you can, get it now while it's still cheap. Last year I was telling you guys, get this now while it's still cheap, while it's still affordable. And today the prices are higher, and I'm telling you, get it now while it's still cheap, while it's still affordable. You know why, ladies and gentlemen? Because it is still cheap. Yes, it's more expensive than it was a year ago, but compared to 5 years from now, it's going to be a lot more expensive 5 years from now than it is today. And ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, stop listening to the naysayers that say that you shouldn't prep, right? I know I've said this several times, and I'll keep saying it because it's true. Stop listening to the people that tell you that you're a hoarder, that you're greedy, that you're not letting them get their fair share. If you go to work every day, if you have free will, if you go into a business and you trade with them in a lawful manner, that's your business. Nobody pays your bills but you. So make sure that you take care of you and yours. For when the time comes that most people can't, at least you'll have something to take care of your family with. So ladies and gentlemen, there's probably a whole bunch more. I mean, look at where we're at. I want to end this video because I don't want to make it too long. But look at where we're at as far as world food production. This year in the US, we had farmers tilling over their fields, right? Tilling over their produce. We had farmers who couldn't even harvest produce from last year, which was counted as part of our harvest, right? So they left grain and they left produce in the field, hoping that they could harvest it early this year before the next planting, and they weren't even able to do that. We've had a loss of a whole bunch of hogs, a loss of a whole bunch of chickens, a loss of a whole bunch of cows, and we're going to continue to have losses due to the problem with transportation and delivery methods that we're undergoing right now in the US. And you can take this problem and send it over to a slew of other countries. There's a whole bunch of other countries that have the same problems that we have right now. So what's going to happen this harvest season, this October, November, when the farmers are getting ready to harvest? How are they going to do? How are we going to do as a nation this year as far as how much food we've harvested? I mean, I'm not there to see it, but from what I understand, this year so far hasn't been a very great year to plant. You know, I believe that a lot of the farmers had to plant late again because of the condition of their fields being too wet to plant. So it's all of these things coming together. All of these things is why I believe that the world as we know it is over. You can say that this is the start of a new paradigm. So you can say that this is year 1 or year 0 or whatever you want to call it. Because starting this year, things will never be the same again. We're going to have a lower standard of living. All right, people are going to be getting paid less than what they were getting paid before, as far as how much labor they have to produce in order to get the same amount of goods. I mean, have you even heard that there's businesses hiring people back, but they're giving them pay cuts? I'm not sure if they're giving the CEOs a pay cuts, but the people are getting a pay cut. This is the time to prepare, ladies and gentlemen. I can't say that enough. This is the time to prepare. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what other things maybe I haven't talked about that we could be doing right now to prepare better towards a future where everything is going to be more expensive than what it used to be. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I just bought my coffee. So obviously I had to stop somewhere other than my favorite gas station because they're still closed until 10 a.m. every day. I actually talked to the owner there yesterday. I stopped by in the afternoon on my way home, and he was out there, and I was like, hey, when are you gonna start this back up? You know what he told me? He said that he's trying to get it back open to full time, but he can't get a lot of the people that were furloughed back to work. And I'll let you guys guess why he can't get them back to work. So he said as soon as he can hire, I think 6 new people, he's gonna go ahead and open back up full time like he used to before. But ladies and gentlemen, I just spent $3.25 on that coffee, which is almost twice as much. No, it's more than twice as much as what I normally spend at the gas station. But why am I telling you this? Well, the coffee was only $2.25, but you know, I left him a $1 tip. But why am I telling you this? Because I just spent, including the tip, I spent what I could have bought at Costco in bulk rice, about 5-6 pounds of rice. That's how you need to think about things. All right, some people can spend $2 a day on coffee. If you're one of those people, that's great. Support the local community. Some people should not spend $3 a day on coffee. They can go and save that money that they were going to spend on coffee and buy themselves a 50-pound bag of rice, usually after 1 or 2 weeks of not going out for coffee. So think about that as well if you want to prepare better for the future and things that are coming our way. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this was just a quick impromptu video to let you know why I think that this is the end of the world as we know it, for what we've been used to for so long. Get ready for shortages. Get ready for price increases. Get ready for when people have to spend half of their income on food. When people have to spend 40% or more of their income to feed themselves and their families, things will be worse than what you're seeing right now throughout several cities in the US. It will be worse than what's happening now. Some people say that a lot of what's happening now has been orchestrated by bad people, you know, like placing pallets of bricks and stuff in corners of places that have no construction going on. Well, when the price of food goes up by 40% or more, and you have to spend more than 40% of your income, it's not going to be orchestrated. People are going to be out there because people are going to be out there because they're going to be sick of working their lives away just to be able to eat and get by. So don't be one of those people, ladies and gentlemen. Be one of those people that are ready. You can't control what's happening. You cannot control what's happening with our food supply. The only thing that you can control is what's happening with your food supply. So do your best to prepare and to stay prepared, and do not listen to those that don't feed you. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper, and I am out.